Continuing our tour of the Shark Tuner software, we're now going to take a look at the Ignition System Monitor page, Ignition Monitor. This is the EZK monitor. Up at the top left we have RPM, below that we have where our coating plug and throttle switches are. Notice we're idle, 98 octane cat. We've got a coolant temperature. This is the other half of the Temp2 sensor. Ignition advance at the moment is 10 degrees roughly, and engine load right now 27%, just idling. Also shows us our air-fuel ratio in the upper right, so we can keep track of that. But notice something interesting here. We have a red indicator on our faults list. It says ignition retarded, and we're showing 6 degrees retard across the board for all cylinders. Now this is a knock sensor fault. Happen to know that this car's got a flaky rear knock sensor, and in the course of just sitting here playing with it in the garage, it triggered a sensor fault. Now these are all the monitor pages for both fuel and ignition are real-time monitors. They're not showing stored faults. So when the faults happen, you will see them. The effect of a knock sensor fault is does get retained for as long as the ignition is on. And I'm going to shut it off, restart. You'll see it's gone, and then we'll see if we can provoke it again. Alright. Wait a moment for things to power down. And key on. Start. So now we're all green. No retard, no faults. Just running RPM up the scale here. So it seems happy enough. And just as a side note, notice our fuel's running a little bit rich right now on restart. There's about a 20-second delay on the narrowband sensor coming in. Looks like it's running again, so don't be alarmed if you restart and see your mixtures off from where you expect it. Oh, that's interesting. We're stuck at minus 20%. So in other words, to get down to stoichiometric values, our LH has taken out 20% fuel, which is its maximum value. That's all the farther it can go. Run the RPMs up, get into a little bit different part of the map. Seems happy enough. Now remember, this is a pretty stock car, and these are brand stock maps, so things are a little goofy here. It's running rich, and I'm not quite sure why at the moment. But it bears watching. We can certainly tune that out, but if it's a result of some component out of spec like MAF, then we're kind of chasing our tail. The curious thing here is that MAFs actually age lean rather than rich.